Are we the only living beings in the entire universe? The observable universe spans about 90 billion light-years in diameter. There are at least 100 billion galaxies, each containing 100 to 1,000 billion stars. Recently, we've discovered that planets are very common too, and there are probably trillions of habitable planets in the universe. This suggests there should be plenty of opportunity for life to develop and exist, right? But where is it? Shouldn't the universe be teeming with spaceships? Let's take a step back. Even if alien civilizations exist in other galaxies, there's no way we'll ever know about them. Everything beyond our direct galactic neighborhood, known as the local group, is effectively out of our reach forever, due to the expansion of the universe. Even with extremely advanced spaceships, it would take billions of years to reach these distant places. So, let's focus on the Milky Way. The Milky Way is our home galaxy, containing up to 400 billion stars. That's a lot of stars. Counting one per second, it would take you 100 lifetimes to count them all. There are about 20 billion sun-like stars in the Milky Way, and estimates suggest that a fifth of them host Earth-sized planets in their habitable zones, the region where conditions might support life. If just 0.1% of those planets harbored life, there would be 1 million planets with life in the Milky Way. But wait, there's more. The Milky Way is about 13 billion years old. In the beginning, it wasn't a hospitable place for life due to constant explosions, but after 1 or 2 billion years, the first habitable planets began to form. Earth is only 4 billion years old, so there have probably been trillions of chances for life to evolve on other planets in the past. If even one of them had developed into a spacefaring civilization, we would have noticed by now. What would such a civilization look like? There are 3 types. A Type 1 civilization would be able to harness all the energy available on its planet. Just for reference, we're currently around 0.7 on the scale and should reach Type 1 sometime in the next few hundred years. A Type 2 civilization would be able to harness all the energy of its home star. This might sound like science fiction, but it's theoretically possible, with concepts like Dyson spheres, a massive structure surrounding the sun. Type 3 is a civilization that controls its entire galaxy and its energy. Such an advanced civilization would probably seem godlike to us. But why haven't we noticed them? If we were to build generation ships that could sustain a population for around 1,000 years, we could colonize the entire galaxy in 2 million years. It sounds like a long time, but keep in mind that the Milky Way is vast. If it takes a couple of million years to colonize the galaxy, and there are possibly millions or even billions of planets that sustain life, and these life forms have had considerably more time than us, where are all the aliens? This is the Fermi Paradox, and nobody has a definitive answer, but there are a few ideas. Let's discuss the concept of filters. A filter, in this context, refers to a barrier that's extremely difficult for life to overcome. Filters come in various levels of scary. There are great filters behind us. Maybe it's far harder for complex life to develop than we realize. The process of life's emergence hasn't been fully understood, and the conditions required may be incredibly complex. Perhaps, in the past, the universe was far more hostile, and only recently has it cooled enough for complex life to thrive. If this is true, we may be unique or one of the first civilizations to exist in the universe. There are great filters ahead of us. This would be really, really bad. Maybe life at our level exists everywhere in the universe, but it gets destroyed when it reaches a certain point, one that lies ahead of us. For example, future technology might be capable of solving many of our problems, but activating it could destroy our planet. The last words of every advanced civilization could be, "This new device will solve all our problems when I push this button." If this is true, we may be closer to the end of human existence than the beginning. Or perhaps there's an ancient Type 3 civilization monitoring the universe, and when any civilization reaches a certain level of advancement, it's wiped out instantly. Maybe there's something out there we'd be better off not discovering. There's no way for us to know for sure. One final thought. Maybe we're alone right now. We have no evidence that any life exists besides us. Nothing. The universe appears to be empty and lifeless. No one is sending us messages, and no one is answering our calls. We may be entirely alone, trapped on a tiny wet rock in an infinite universe. Does that thought scare you? If it does, you're having the right emotional reaction. If we let life on this planet die, perhaps life will be gone from the universe forever. If that's the case, we must venture to the stars and become the first Type 3 civilization to preserve the delicate flame of life and spread it across the universe until it breathes its last breath and fades into oblivion. The universe is too beautiful not to be experienced by someone. This video was made possible by your support. It takes at least 200 hours to create each one of our videos, and thanks to your contributions on Patreon, we're able to do more and more of them. If you'd like to help us out and get your own personal, for example, check out our Patreon page.